All right. Well, hi, Rebecca and Phoebe and Julie and Caroline.
Hi.
Hey there.
Hello.
That was Rebecca. I'm sorry, I'm in the same boat with my video being weird.
That's fine. Where are you? Where are you in your picture, though? I love that picture.
Thank you. It was in Athens.
Mm.
It's the a mountain in the background. Yeah.
So, should we wait a little bit longer, you think, or should we go ahead and I put together some slides kind of as an overview, but um, yeah, I can go ahead and start that if I can remember how to share my screen. Oh, here we go. Can you guys all see that all right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, welcome. Thank you all for coming. Oh yeah, so this is an informal Q&A. So if you have questions, please, like as things come up, go ahead and put it in the chat. Hopefully, maybe one of you guys, Allie or somebody, can watch the chat since I can't see it with my screen, to just chime in if you have a question. And yeah, we're recording. I was going to just record the presentation part in case someone wasn't able to come. But when we get to, if we get into more Q&A, we'll stop that just so that's a little bit more private. So I wanted to start by talking about all the benefits from being on the board of SAASC. So I've really enjoyed being in this group to work with other students. And like we've brainstormed some really cool ideas, and then we just like everyone takes their part and it just puts it together. It's been a really cool experience. And it's just been so nice to make those personal connections since we're in this online school and it can get kind of lonely. So that's been, I think, one of the biggest benefits. But then there's definitely competencies for your e-portfolio. I think B, D, and M are probably the closest ones. Or B is a little maybe a stretch, but you're still talking about organizational settings. Like you could SAA or even just how our little organization and comparing that with other professional organization spaces, or even from the events, learning about their archives and places like that. But competency D and M for sure. Planning, management, marketing, and advocacy. I mean, that's what we're doing as a board, is promoting what we're doing. And then also the professional leadership and communication skills is definitely a good thing that comes out of this. And I keep hearing too about how many, even in job interviews and stuff, how much people really value soft skills and being able to communicate and work with a team and all those sorts of things. So these are all, this work would be great examples for that. And of course, adding the leadership role to your resume is always a plus too. But some of the things you might not know is Dr. Chow has a student leadership meeting once a semester where all the student chapters meet with him and kind of go over what the plans are and what's happening. And at our last leadership meeting, he was mentioning that he would love to have another meeting with student leaders to get some feedback on things that are happening within the iSchool. So it's kind of a nice way to have some influence over the iSchool, possibly. I think that's still in the works. There's no guarantee with that, but still you have access to Dr. Chow and Bethany, can't think of her last name. But anyway, you have kind of access to some of the professors in a different way, and which has kind of been which has been nice, and again a different kind of experience from this distance online school. And we, with our new faculty advisors, I've felt very encouraged to interact with the archiving professors more and to kind of maybe highlight them. I think that would be a cool thing to do next year. But anyway, it's kind of you're at a little bit more of a professional level to interact with other professors and to just, it's a different way of interacting with the staff at the people at iSchool. Also, each student chapter gets a budget to attend the annual conferences. So, and the Society of American Archivists, a bunch of us were able to attend online last year because it was pretty affordable. And so pretty much anyone from the past and future board that wanted to go attend virtually were able to, and that was a really cool experience. So that's definitely a benefit that to being on the board. And then I've just felt that we've been able to be really creative to try new things. Like I was saying, just with brainstorming and supporting one another, and that's been a really fun benefit to being on the board this year too. And then I also, so I was thinking of other things that you might want to know about being on the board. Most of the positions, including the chair, I think, I don't know, I can only really speak for the chair, only take probably about an hour a week. I think some might like, depending on what you're doing, like membership, I know Mia does a lot with membership, so that could take a little bit more, but, and then we do have a monthly board meeting. So I don't think it feels like the staffing is, the way it's set up is pretty good, where there's not one person that's like working at it a ton. And everything that this whole board is brand new. None of us have been on the board at all before, but we were able to, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but we were able to jump in pretty fast because everything is really well documented on an SAASC shared Google Drive. So, and we intend to fully document what we've done and pass that on so you can see what we've done, and then even what previous boards have done. We will have like a transfer meeting after you're elected to your position, so you can learn where everything is in the Google Drive and how that all works as you're in your new position. And no prior experience is required, right? Like I said, none of us have been on the board. You know, being familiar with, like, if you're going to be webmaster, would be good if you had some web skills. So, you know, some of those things are good, but just willing to learn and work as a team. There just really aren't any other big requirements other than that. Oh yeah, and I guess maybe this is more of a opportunity, but some of our board members presented a poster at the Society of California Archivists, and we're planning on putting together a poster for SAA this summer too. So that's also another. So the being on the board has been like, we're presenting about what we've done as a board. So anyone can do those presentations, but for someone who is new and hasn't done an internship or doesn't feel they have something to do a poster about, just being involved in the board and what you're doing gives you just that other level of something else, a project, right? Projects that you've worked on in archives that you could present at trade shows. So the only requirements are to be enrolled for the full year next year, and to be able to commit some time to do the work that you need to do, and able to participate in most of the chapter activities like the virtual events and more monthly board meetings. And you need to be a member of SAA, which the student membership is $50. So that's not too bad. I think that's better than some of the ALA, I think is more than that. So,
and with just really quickly with
the
membership dues, you also get discounts to a lot of the textbooks that you have to, like a lot of the e-textbooks that you have to buy for classes anyways. You get a discount on those. So it probably doesn't even out exactly, but I think it is worth the $50.
Good point. Thank you, Mia. So all of our board positions are open. In the Constitution, it says that we are only elected for a year. So even if someone wanted to run again, they would need to be elected in. The exception is Maddie, because she was elected in halfway through the year. So my reading of the Constitution means that she can stay on in her role for another year. I have chair, vice chair, and secretary bolded because the Constitution says in order for us to be a student chapter, you need to have at least those 3 positions filled. In order for us to do the stuff that we've been doing that the memberships enjoy, we need everybody. So that's what was, oh, all right. Oh, Hannah put in that the blog. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the blog takes a little bit more time as well. She says 3 hours every 2 weeks is about what she's been doing. So then I was going to go through, Or maybe I'll stop sharing and see. Or do you guys have any questions so far?
Yeah, this is Carolyn. So no one is running again for their positions. You're all done.
Yeah, many of us are graduating.
Yeah.
Next year is a really busy year for my family, so that's when it's just a personal reason for me. I'm very tempted to stay on, but I know my family would prefer that I focus on them next year.
Got it.
Maddie will be continuing on though, right? And she's been with us for
Right.
a semester, so there will be at least a little bit of that knowledge transfer that we didn't have, but I think we've been a really successful board without that too. So I think, yeah, everyone's in good shape.
And my position is the social media like co-coordinator. So technically all the positions are still open because there's somebody who's supposed to also be social media coordinator with me too. So even though I'm staying on, all the positions are still open.
That's a good
Got
one.
it. Thanks.
Are there any positions that you guys are particularly interested in? You can just put it in the chat if you want, or because the next thing in the presentation is just like
I
looking
was
at all.
interested.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Oh, I was interested. Sorry, it says my internet connection is unstable. I'm so sorry. But I was interested in the membership role, and then also I didn't know if we were allowed to nominate ourselves for more than one. Because I didn't know if if someone else was running, but I still want to be a part of it, and if I could say in my note that I'd be open to other positions that are open. Are we allowed to do that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And the thing is, you would need to nominate yourself for more than one position. So you'd send an email for membership coordinator that you're interested in, and then send
Okay.
another one and another statement for other. Many of us applied for more than one position on this board.
Okay, cool. That's got it. So just do separate ones
Yeah.
for each role. Okay.
And I think Julie had a question in the chat. She said she'd love to hear what it was like for all of you to start anew. Did you first start with setting goals? That transition meeting was kind of laid everything out and showed us how they had done it successfully. And we had also, I had been a member and I had attended meetings, so I got to see firsthand how they handled it. And then the transition, the person that handed it off to social media was Erin Castillo, and she was very helpful, had everything really clearly laid out. And then it comes to just what you guys plan as a leadership team and meeting those goals. So I feel like the goals, there's some general goals, but then the goals evolve as you guys have different events and things like that. So, and everyone works together, and they also, like, say you get stumped on something, they provide input, and it's been a collaborative process, and it's been great.
Thanks for that.
And the monthly meetings, like the monthly board meetings are really helpful with that. Cause like Erin was saying, like our goals kind of evolve as we come up with new events and new ideas and stuff like that. So like every month when we do our monthly board meetings, we, in our like own little position, kind of talk about what we've done, but we also bring up our goals for the semester or for the month and what we want to keep working on. So we do set goals and we kind of do it by month and we discuss them at every monthly board meeting.
Yeah, and I just want to add that, whoever takes over these positions, I can't speak for everyone on the board, but you can always reach out to us if you have any questions. Just email us. We will give all the information to contact us, in the documents that we give you. So, don't feel that you're ever alone in this. We're here to help with the transition and with any other questions that you might have.
And then Caroline has a follow-up question. She says, this sounds very job interviewy, but can you speak to at least your favorite part of the roles? I heard lots of good things about being on the board already. My favorite part and why I actually applied to be social media, I like sharing events. I'm like, hey, this is a really cool thing that's happening, or hey, this is a really cool position. And it gives me that platform to share it with a larger audience, especially the high school students. So that's what I like the most about my role is I get to share cool things, I guess.
I think she said the least favorite part, but I think it would be a good idea if we all shared our favorite part and least.
So
Yeah, but
sorry.
good. Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off and not do it. Yeah, both is good.
Least favorite.
Sorry.
Yeah,
That would give the
no.
whole spectrum of things.
And that
I guess my least favorite part is crunching. Like, say I have an assignment and I want to post something, but I can't. Like, that's probably my least favorite part. Is like I have to put that off until I get my assignment done. I guess. Sorry, I'm so sorry, Julie.
I'm also the social media coordinator, and my favorite part is kind of getting to connect with everybody who has similar interests with us, and like kind of just bringing them all together, because we are like in an online only like type like setting, that I feel like it's really hard to build a community, but being like doing social media stuff, I like being able to share those events, or just, you know, one of my big goals has been like promoting like just ways for us to all engage on social media with members. And that's my favorite part, is just getting everybody to like talk to each other and come together. And then my least favorite part has been doing the TikToks. I like doing TikTok. It's just very difficult to come up with content for it. So far I've only come up with like archives word of the week. And even then, like I don't, it takes a lot of work. I think the TikToks take more work than any of the other stuff I do on social media. So it's kind of a bit of a learning curve, but it's useful because it's good to, you know, be familiar with all of that technology and things that are really popular social media platforms, because it's a great way to connect and reach out with people. But, you know, it is a learning curve and it's kind of scary, like putting myself out there, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, Matt, you kind of stole mine. Well, at least what you like about it. Like, I really enjoy being part of a community of people who share my interests, and sort of, I kind of have hermit tendencies and I'm not very social. And so like, I miss being in a classroom. I really do. And being able to interact with people, like that's one of the downsides for me of going to SJSU. But then being part of this has really kind of forced me to be in contact with other humans. So it's been really good and healthy for me. The thing that, I don't know, I'm the secretary. And so I pretty much liked everything that I do. Like sometimes it's annoying using things to like edit our events, because that's what I do. I edit our events and I put them up on YouTube. And so sometimes I have problems with technology. That's probably the only like minorly annoying thing about my role. Otherwise, I've really enjoyed it.
I have loved working with our board this year. Similarly to you, Allie, I feel like one of the downsides of the online program, even though we know we all have shared interests, is just that you don't get that same feeling of like collaborating with people in a classroom or getting to see the same people. So just having some like consistency with this group and seeing how we've gotten to know each other since the start of since 2022. It feels really nice to have a small group that kind of holds you accountable, but also really supports you because we're all taking different classes and have, you know, different things going on in our lives. But just to be able to work on these projects together and see them culminate has been really fun, and something that I didn't really expect I would do in this program. Like I feel like my first year starting this program, I wasn't super involved just because I was overwhelmed with all the different emails and groups and acronyms and meetings, and it just like it felt like a lot just to orient myself to my classes. So but I'm definitely glad that I made the decision to be on the leadership, because I feel like it's not that much more work than just going to all those meetings anyways, and you get to build really good connections. And I've ended up meeting a few of the people on the board in person. I presented with Aaron and Katrina earlier this month. Yeah, earlier this month in Sacramento, which was super fun. So yeah, I have a lot of pros. And I guess my least favorite part is just feeling like I have one more thing to do with like other classes, or sometimes I feel like just time management, I guess, gets tricky, but I think it all evens out, and it's worth it for the connections that we have made. So yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. That was super helpful.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way as everyone else. There's not a lot that I can add to that. I mean, being the blog editor, I do feel that I have a little bit of creative freedom. You know, we started the archives of the month this past year, and it's been really successful. And I was really excited that, you know, my idea really came to fruition. So I think that's probably the part that I like the most is the creative aspect, you know, along with just the community and, you know, talking with my peers. I really feel like I'm gonna miss it, you know. At first, you know, I was probably a little stressed out, you know, with the extra work that it involved. But the more that I did it, I really enjoyed it, and I looked forward to that extra work, you know, and then it became not work, I guess, for me at least. So it's been a great experience, and I would really encourage, you know, anyone that's you know, especially interested in writing and you know, reaching out to other students to consider, you know, the blog editor position, or, you know, Mia's position as well. Actually, any of them, you know, like we're always writing, we're always communicating. So yeah, think about it. It's worth it.
So, so I will chime in. So I haven't said, but I am very new in the program. I took my first archiving class this semester. So I started on the board without taking any archiving classes. I was still finishing my core classes, and I took beginning cataloging first because I didn't really know where else to start. So I have learned a lot about archives. I think I also poke around and attend a lot of webinars from SAA, and I feel I learned a lot through that, but I learn a lot through our events. But then also teachers and things like that, definitely, like everyone else, I think on the board has been, or most of the board has been more along the archives path in the coursework than I have. So that's been, I mean, you get a benefit from that, right? Just if of kind of seeing what classes people really are enjoying, and it just comes up after board meetings or whatever. My favorite thing, so I was a Girl Scout leader for 10 years before, or 11 years before coming here. And I love how we will start talking about something and get this cool idea, and it just bubbles up, and we dream up this whole new thing. And then all of you guys run with it. Like, just being the chair I feel has been very easy. But as a Girl Scout leader, we'd come up with an idea, and then I would have to break it down into little girl parts. So like the fact that these are all competent, like amazing like grad students that can run with an idea and turn it into something. And that's been so cool to see, like Hannah developing blog of the month. I mean, archives of the month in the blog was really cool. And the whole personal archive project, that was just we dreamed that up kind of as a group. And then Mia and Katrina and we kind of ran with it. And even with the poster and stuff, it's just been really cool to see. And I think we bounced off each other and worked with each other and doing some new things in a different way. So, but if you don't want to do that and you don't feel that creativity, everything, like Mia has said a number of times, like everything is written up to do exactly what the board had done last year for membership, which was really, a lot of people enjoyed, and it was a really cool program, and that was all different for them. So there is flexibility as to, like, you can, I mean, I think we're a very successful student chapter. We are noticed by SAA. Our Professor Lindbergh has said that SAA knows us and knows the good work that we do as a student chapter. I think part of that's from the posters and stuff. So there is a quality level that we have. And I think every board with the documentation system that has been set up way before us, it's like you guys are enabled to stay at that level or create new things and even ratchet it up, right? I would love to see Archives of the Month continue, but if that's too hard or something, you could just take it down to once a month and it'd be on student chapter activities. That's fine too. There's so much flexibility, and you can make this whatever you want to do. Oh, and then for the least favorite part, it's this nomination and election part. So as chair, my work hasn't started until now. I mean, I run the monthly executive board meetings. We tried to get started with goals and stuff in the summer. I feel like we maybe could have done a little bit more in the summer to try to prepare to hit the ground running with more events, but I think what we did was totally fine and great. But I'm a little bit of a last minute person, and the nominations, I think I waited a little too long because I'm really bummed that not more people are jumping up to be part of the board, and I'm a little scared of what's going to happen next year. So that is been my least favorite part, and what I'm most stressed about is for this student chapter to continue, because it's been so awesome, and I don't know what it's going to continue with without any more people being interested, and absolutely nobody submitting nominations. So all right, Rebecca, I think I'm going to jump to Rebecca's question about logistics. How long are the terms technically? So it's a school year. So it's technically you start in June, but you don't, I mean, let's see. So as chair, I was responsible for getting everyone lined up for the SAA conference that had signed up to go, which was a little challenging, but we got that figured out because they were like, yeah, just go. And I'm like, we don't have any login stuff. So it took me a little bit to figure that part out. And I did feel that was kind of, I'm like, I'm just starting this. I don't know what I'm doing here. But again, we figured that out. So over the summer would be goals and planning. It was a little hard because we didn't know what we were planning because of being a new board. So like we did have goals, but it didn't mean as much until we got started. So right, and there's the meet and greet at the beginning of each semester that the iSchool puts together. So that's something, again, the chair does, and it's good to be part of. And then, but so I think it doesn't really start until the school year starts. So maybe August you start kind of trying to ratchet things up. I know like SLA had speaker events planned, I think in September. So that means they did a lot more over the summer. Our speaker events, I don't think started till October probably. But we had a new member meeting. We had the meet and greet. We were still active in doing things. But it took a little bit longer to set up speakers coming in. Again, I think we could have teachers come in as speakers, or actually I was already talking with Dr. She's the Mara professor anyway, about a project she's doing anyway. So, but yeah, it's just until it's from, I guess, May to June technically is the term, but there's not a lot of activity in the summer. Doesn't have to be. Any other questions?
I
saw-
think that.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think I saw like the role descriptions, but I think Katie, you're about to go over the roles themselves in the slides.
Yeah.
But I was also curious to hear like what like each person's experience was in their role. Some of you already talked about that, but also like what went well, and also what you feel like you'd like to see for the next person in the role that's going to be in, or for the next term.
Sure. What roles are you guys most interested in, just so we don't get stuck on one that you guys are like, okay, that's great, but and it could be multiple ones if you want to put in the chat, then just so we focus on the ones that would mean the most to you. But
Phoebe, I think you mentioned the membership one, which, right? I think.
yeah, that's what
Yeah, I think as you're actually talking about the different roles, I was like more intrigued to learn more about each one as you're talking
Okay.
about. Yeah.
Well, here, I can share again and we can go through all of them. That's a good point, Phoebe. All right. So I've kind of talked about this, right? So the chair oversees the chapter activities, coordinates the team functions, sets the agenda, and facilitates the board meeting. But honestly, the agenda is like a template, and then everyone goes in and fills in their chunk. So it's not like I'm telling everybody what to do. It's just a means, it's a way for us to talk about what's going on in each of our different parts. I'm supposed to be watching I watch the email. I do not clean it out very often. I will have to do that before I pass it on to the next chair. Yes, and I will get to prepare an annual report for SAA next month. Again, that's another one of the jobs at the end of the term that I don't have much experience with. And then, right, I represent the chapter, right, at the leadership meetings. I did not go to the conference, so I don't know. I pulled these off of the website. So yeah, mostly so far I've been overseeing the board meetings and just kind of, and like before Mia sets out a newsletter, she sends out like she sends it to us to look over, and I might remember, oh, remember we have this thing, or I feel in some ways I'm trying to keep track of what everyone is doing, and so that we can cross promote and make sure that we're covering all the different things. So I will say there is a little bit of headspace with chair, but that's something that's natural to me. And again, this is so much easier than Girl Scouts, so it's been really fun. Much more fun than Girl Scouts was. Vice chair, Katrina isn't here, but she plans and implements all the virtual events and site tours, develops the event outreach list, coordinates event schedule and logistics, hosts events, and fills in for me when needed. So yeah, we did the survey at the beginning of the year. I think that came from Mia to see, or I don't know, I guess as a board, we wanted to see what did the members want to see. And from that, she, well, in the fall, she was setting up events and talking to archivists to come and schedule that. And then the second semester, we were able to use, I think, the survey results a little bit more to try to focus on women archives, digital archives, the things that the members said that they had wanted to do. Challenges for Katrina, at least that I could see as a chair, was needing to reschedule because someone had like a family emergency. Tuesday night, our speaker was totally sick and just couldn't even come. So, things like that happen, which could be with any event, but I don't know if you guys were there Tuesday or not, but I mean, we are supporting each other and we make it work. Oh yeah, even some other event, Katrina's Zoom was cutting in and out, so I helped fill in. So anyway, I think those have probably been some of the challenges, at least that I have seen from outside of what she was doing. But right, this is an opportunity that you can interact with and build those connections with archivists in the field. So that is a big benefit to that job. And then Secretary Allie, you want to talk about?
Sure. Yeah. So I would kind of summarize like the secretary as being like, I do a lot of stuff with Zoom, you know, so I come up with all the Zoom links and I make sure that those are distributed to people. And you do that by advertising in various places. So doing that on Canvas, making announcements, uploading to the iSchool master calendar, making sure that the alerts go out so people will know about the events that are coming up. And then I also do some of the editing, and I do some work in Canva to upload the recordings of our videos to our YouTube channel. And let's see, you know, I haven't been preparing board minutes. Katie's done that. So what I really do is a lot of logistics with the events and like setting up meetings. And you know, there's a survey that's done after each event, and I upload that to the drive so that we have that back on each one of those events. I also am creating an archive of all of our events. So I do that as well, so that we have a backup of our YouTube channel. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that I do is sort of behind the scenes that works with my personality, honestly. So that's why I wanted to be secretary. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I think. And the documentation from the person before me was awesome. I mean, it's step by step, very detailed, and that was super helpful. And I had a meeting with her before I took on this role, and that was helpful too. And she's been super kind because I've like sent her emails with follow-up questions and she's always responded. She's been really cool. And I would be the same way if any questions came up for the future secretary.
Thanks, Allie. Yeah, I didn't reach out to Barbara, but I think, I don't know, she was leaving the country. I felt like she wasn't as approachable, but I think it was just where she was going with like the next step for her. I was like, oh, anyway. Mia, did you want to talk about membership director?
Sure. Thanks for putting this together. I think your bullets capture it well. I think when I'm trying to think of the main things that I have to work on every month, the newsletter is something that takes some more time to put together, but again, really well documented process on how to do it. It's very easy to learn once you're in WordPress and you have access to kind of the back end of our website. You figure out how to make one and make a duplicate, and you can just kind of build off of the same template. And even within that, there's a lot of flexibility. So the events, I think, also take a little bit more planning out and coordinating and just communicating with other members of the board to help get everything promoted through social media or the Zoom links made for the events. Katie has been super helpful, I think, in, like you said, just kind of that like overseeing role and making sure we have the right things in place and getting final approval from Katie. I feel like everyone in our Google space is super responsive, and yeah, it's been really easy to coordinate with people just within the board. Trying to think of what else. The survey that we did this year in the beginning of the fall semester, I think was really helpful for us because we got kind of a glimpse of what our members were interested in. So I would recommend doing something like that again for the next membership director. And I'd be happy to explain how we did that or give some recommendations if we'd want to tweak it anyway. I think another thing about this position is that there wasn't a membership director before, like Rachel, who was last year's membership director. That was the first one. So I'm the second, the next person will be the third. So it's still a relatively new position. But I think that is a benefit too, because it yeah, it allows you to think creatively. And then promoting the benefits of parent organization, I think we try to do that through our membership activities. And then yeah, I think there's a lot of overlap in that last bullet point with how we promote things on social media or in our Canvas group, trying to share opportunities in like the professional field. So I do feel like this position is really well like integrated and supported from other by other members. So yeah.
This position, right, allows, there's one person focused on like membership interaction. I think this position has been huge in creating a sense of community, which has been a goal of this chapter. And I think that's why it was formed. So I think, yeah, but right, it's new and there's a lot of flexibility. Those are good points, Mia, that you can kind of take it in a lot of different directions. So right, Caroline was asking how many people. I don't know if we know exactly how many people are in the chapter. I think we have, what, 300 some people in the Canvas group, which is one reason why we've been blasting announcements through Canvas, because we think that hits people, or a lot of people would see that. Yeah, and then Allie said we have 20 to 30 people attend the events. We have, what, I think about 50. How many people are signed up for the personal archive? Is that about 15, Mia?
About 20.
Okay.
About 20 are signed up for the personal archive, and we have about 130 in our mail list or newsletter. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
there's kind of different measurements you can take. But
the newsletter that's more of a conscious, like, I want to sign up for this for,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you did that with Canvas, but I'm not sure how long ago people did that. So I don't know how engaged people still are with that. So yeah, 130 is a lot. And yeah, it's interesting. I mean, with our activities and stuff, there's not really, it's open to the whole iSchool. So you don't know, but the whole iSchool is could be a member, right? I've tried to make sure.
Yeah, we try to, I feel like when we've done our Google forms for having people sign up for activities, I'll try to ask, like, are you a member? Just to gauge for us, like, you know, are we connecting with people who don't know about SAASC? But I think I've noticed that most people who participate in our events are members, which is cool. But yeah, that creating that sense of community, I think, is a good point for why this position is important. And I think it's something that I have found really like gratifying, I guess, in the last year going to the events, and it has been like seeing familiar faces of members at these events, and also just like getting feedback from members that, yeah, this is something, thanks for putting this on, this is something we're really interested in, or yeah, thanks for sharing that resource. Like, I think having that positive feedback from members is always nice.
So I will say, for social media coordinator right now, we have Maddie, and this is the only position that, when Maddie ran for social media coordinator at the beginning of this semester, one other person ran against her, and she put herself back in the running to be the co-coordinator. So this is one that we do have one person nominated for. But still, Maddie or Erin, do you guys want to talk about what you do as social media coordinator?
Yeah. We promote internal and external events, and we've kind of divvied it up so it works well and complements each other. So we're not kind of treading on, duplicating anything. So it's worked out really well, I think. And Maddie has implemented TikTok, which was something I was not comfortable with or even have an account. So I am very happy that she took that head on and she's definitely helped out a lot in the role, and suggesting that we use more hashtags, which was made a huge difference. So and we try to share things that aren't just California related. And lately I've been going to other chapter like Reforma or SLA type activities and kind of cross posting things. I tried to take advantage of other chapters things and share them, because there's some more are archive related. Like Reforma did a tour of the Cal State LA archives, and SLA did a tour of the Getty's archives. So I think it's fun to get the word out and share things. And I've been able to meet other students, not only in SAA, but obviously the other chapters too. And kind of piggybacking on what Mia had said about seeing the effect of what our chapter does on other people. There was actually a student got an internship based on one of the presentations, which I think was awesome. So I'm going to open the floor to Maddie if she wanted to add something.
Maddie?
Yeah, I mean, we shared things that are not just like related to our student chapter, but anything that might be of interest, people who like are interested in archives and just like job opportunities and things like that. And I've also noticed lately that there has been, through social media, we have kind of been branching out through the whole like iSchool, not just in like this SAASC, but like I've noticed that we've had some interaction with other groups as well. So social media has been doing that. And another thing that we kind of, I mean, this is like the basic things of what we do, but we are kind of trying to build it and do more things and be more engaging with our followers. And a lot of these jobs, they kind of like a lot of these positions, they overlap with each other. Like we are all helping each other out and doing stuff. Like I feel like social media in a lot of ways, we support the secretary because we're getting the word out. We support membership because we're promoting membership and trying to bring more members in and bring more awareness. So we kind of are supporting a lot of the other positions in the chapter. And then one of the big goals that we've also been talking about, especially as this semester is winding down, that I think kind of falls under social media, but we all are going to have to work together, is we're trying to find a way for members to communicate in a more, I guess, fluid way than Canvas. So like talking about maybe using Discord or something like that. So that's something that we might be looking at in the future too. So there's lots of exciting things that happen with social media. Social media is always changing. You got to stay on top of it. But yeah. And it's also, social media is also a lot of marketing. That's how I got into social media, is because I have my own photography business and I have to do a lot of marketing on social media. So yeah, it's basically a big marketing position for the club in a lot of ways.
And I'm just going to add something at the very end where it says create social media graphics. I use that as one of my evidences in competency that wasn't listed on our list. We use Canva a lot. So I felt I became very familiar with Canva and how to utilize that. So I use that as one of the technologies to meet one of the competencies that's not on our list. So yay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys, what does it mean to promote something? So right, you soup to nuts, when you have something you want to promote, what does that mean? What are you guys doing?
On
well,
social
a lot
media?
of the times we're lucky because when we're creating our social media graphics, a lot of times we get lucky and there basically is already something for that event or whatever. If it's like an internal event, we get lucky and either it was on the blog or something like that, and there's already a graphic. We just kind of have to convert it to be like a Instagram square graphic on Canva. Or we make a new one on Canva. And it's just really, it's not hard to figure it out. Like it's really fun, actually. It's like you get to be very creative, but we kind of just, depending on what it is, like whether it be a job opening or an event, you go in there, you find the information. You can just copy and paste the information, or if you want to like paraphrase it, make it shorter, you can. But you know, you have to make an eye-catching graphic, something that people are going to see and be interested in. Write something interesting about it that gets people's attention, but it's also very informative. And then you also have to like make links available so people can access it. So like something that we didn't talk about is on like Instagram, you can't post links on in like posts. So we also have Linktree. So you have to go in Linktree and like add the links to there. But a lot of the times it's fairly easy because there are graphics there may already be graphics created. You can just go in and copy and paste whatever from if you go on Canva and look at the events, there's a little blurb about it. You can just copy and paste that and copy and paste the job description or part of it. So you just want to be able to like inform people, but also make it eye-catching and like, I don't know, draw people in, I guess.
And speaking of Linktree, that was Allie's idea. In between, so there's the collaboration part, so everyone kind of helps each other out with suggestions and ways to improve things. So yeah, it's been a great board. So I can't say you guys are going to work with great people no matter what. So
Yeah, we didn't know each other at all. We we're grad students, and like you're doing this because you want to do it. I think.
And we all very obviously have at least one thing in common. Like we are all interested in our archives and like archives as a career. So there's something to start with there.
And like Maddie was saying, the iSchool has a social media coordinator now, and you will see, like I think they pulled in the SLA blog on their stories. So like they're pulling in student chapter stuff more to be promoted on the iSchool social media, which is awesome. And I think that'll be really helpful to get more eyes on things. So our web. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and we had our social media post featured on one of the iSchool's like lunch and learn sessions. So I was like, yay, we were famous for a minute.
I'm waiting for the day that one of my TikToks gets posted on there.
I'm just noticing how late it's getting, so I wanted to make sure. Here, let's have, well, our webmaster isn't here. But right, she maintains the website. Sometimes there are things that come up like with WordPress that IT will say, oh, this change is coming through. So I don't know if she's had to do something on the website to do that sort of thing. One time something broke on our website, but she was able to go in and fix it. And she was able to work with IT. There's 2 IT contacts within the school. So she like contacted them and was like, this isn't working. And they worked together to figure out, I think it was some plugin on something or other. I do not know websites very well. But so she helps create the graphics. So it's not just like, right. A lot of people are making graphics, so it's kind of interesting. I didn't realize how many of you guys were, honestly. Right, she posts stuff on the website. I asked her to change a couple things that she was able to do, troubleshoot issues, and yeah, and then again with the documentation and stuff. So all right, and then of course, last but not least, yeah, we have Hannah with the blog. Hannah, do you create graphics too?
Yeah, I actually go to Canva. That's where I do like the blog banners for each blog. You know, so it's pretty much a combination of WordPress and Canva. Those are the two ones that I work with, you know, about every 2 weeks. You know, of course, we have a lot of you know, guest blogs from other board members, so it's not always, you know, you writing, you know, two blogs a month. It for me, it's almost come down to just one blog a month where I do the archives of the month, and then a guest writer will come on and you know, write another blog, you know, depending on events that are coming up, you know, or an interesting job or internship that they're dealing with. You know, Allie let's see, Allie did one, Mia did one. So it's not just you always writing the blog by yourself, and you always have input from everyone else on the board. Like you'll usually, at least for me, what we do is I'll do like a draft on a Sunday, and get any comments or feedback, and then Monday we'll post. And yeah, we do try to cross promote as well. I work with a membership, the membership director, chair, social media coordinators, to make sure that that all goes out, and it's mainly just like a small message, just saying, hey, here's the blog, and then they just take it and run with it. So I would say it might not be as involved as some of the other positions. So that's something to keep in mind if maybe you don't have quite as much time for other positions. But yeah, it's been great, and I really hope that whoever takes over the position will continue the archives of the month, or create something even better. That's what it's all about, is moving up. So, yep.
Yeah, and Dr. Bush is saying how she's like, oh, this is awesome. I wish I'd known this was here. So yes, we've identified late in our term that we need to promote more to professors as well. So anyway. Oh, there's Aaron said competency H. Okay. So I had more about how to apply. I can push the deadline back to maybe next Friday, but again, we need to have enough time for elections and the transition meeting and stuff. So we can't push things back too much. All right, yeah. So elections will be May 8th to the 15th, and then the winner is announced by the 20th. Yeah, that was all I had. Do you guys have any other questions? So I'm biased, Caroline. I would say go for the chair. I saw you were debating. And honestly, Barbara, I was debating. Allie, I really wanted to be secretary. I love taking notes, which is why I didn't let you take the notes back. But Barbara convinced me that chair was actually less work than the vice chair, which I think might be, I think probably is true, as far as like the vice chair is reaching out and like coordinating with the speakers and stuff. One thing I've done as chair is when I see I have the student chapter email, it comes through on my phone. So I see whenever I get a message, and if there's a message for someone else, I'll text them and tell them there's a message so they can answer it. Yeah, the chair is important, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like a whole lot of work, but it's a lot of work right now. So I have to talk to you in June to give you the full picture. Interaction with faculty advisor, Phoebe. That's a very good question. Professor Lindbergh has been the faculty advisor for a really long time, and she was super duper hands off, and in almost a frustrating way. Like I think the past board, I got the sense that they would have liked to have heard from her more. We have two faculty chairs now, Dr. Bushy and James Hodges. Is that right? Yeah, Dr. Hodges. We haven't seen him yet, but Dr. Bushy came to an event in our last board meeting, and she is super excited about being involved. Like I said, I think it's made me realize that we could to interact with our professors more than we have, rather than reaching all out to the industry, to also look into who we have on at our school, which I think may even like increase students that would be interested, be like, oh, I'm going to take that class. It might drum up interest in a different way. So I can't really tell you what faculty the faculty advisor role will be moving forward, because I think that is being defined, and that's something that you guys can kind of set as a new board too, as to how much you want to pull them in, or whatever. They are involved with the election. That's definitely in the Constitution, so that we aren't. It's to keep it right. So, not that any of us would pick who we are favorites or whatever, but by having the faculty advisor do it, that just keeps that from. That's just a process. Yes, thank you, Julie. Carry on this torch. We can't let this die. So, secretary or webmaster. Okay. Oh, Phoebe, I was so excited about you being membership coordinator. But we need secretary, and yeah. And if we had to, we could double up on some of it. I don't know how that would all work.
I was actually gonna ask that, like maybe if we had to develop roles, if we could do that.
Like the Constitution says we have to have the chair, vice chair, and secretary. I could see like, and the webmaster. I mean, I've loved having Ashley. Right, we've been able to do some new stuff. We've been still trying to figure out how to get likes or some sort of response from the blogs, which has been a little frustrating. That's one thing I think as a board that we would love to get more. We haven't been great with analytics and trying to figure out a good way to keep track of analytics. I mean, we get a little bit from an email from like Instagram and newsletters, but right, we have no feedback on blogs, which has been, I know, really frustrating for Hannah, because she puts a lot of work into those and then doesn't know how it's being interacted with. So I think having better analytics and kind of feedback back would be a good thing moving forward too. But the website could be set up where it's not that, right, when things could just be posted on there as part of something else and maybe not designed and stuff like that, right? Where you step back from some of the parts of the web page, but just have someone update stuff so that that's updated. And then, yeah, but I feel like membership really needs to be, it's not in the Constitution, but I think if we're gonna continue the amazing stuff we've done as membership, I think that's another top one that super duper needs to be in there. Because and even like Dr. Chow was saying, we could use the iSchool social media if we had to, if we didn't have social media coordinators, to send graphics to them, and that could go through iSchool. So there are other flexibilities to make it work with a smaller board. It just wouldn't be exactly the same, but yeah, talk to your friends. Even like Maddie has been awesome, and we're in reference and information together, and every chance that we have this sharing assignment where you just post anything, and she's always like promoting us. So if you can write a discussion boards in your classes and be like, hey, we need people to be like on the board for SAASC, like that would be awesome too.
Yes, tell all your friends to join the dark side.
Not
Even
the
if
dark
people
side.
don't want to join the executive board, it's helpful to spread the word and get more people as members too. So we appreciate even that.
What is it? Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Oh, okay. Julie's interested in vice. And if Caroline is chair and Phoebe's secretary, we have a board. That's awesome. What about you, Rebecca? Did you say what you were leaning towards? I might have missed it.
I think you mentioned she might be social media.
Oh, okay.
Is that right, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, secretary, social media, maybe membership even. So.
And you could even do, I mean, membership could be two. I don't know. I think Mia had to leave, but she, I don't know. I hadn't realized. Yeah, Hannah, you do a lot of research with the blog. I think membership is kind of big, but Mia's just taken it on, which has been awesome. But you could totally do as co-coordinators as well. So, yeah, I guess we have to figure out how that all works with the election and stuff. But thank thanks for sticking around. I'm excited that 4 of you are interested in carrying the torch for this organization. So thank you. And we are all here for you. Like, yeah, you can totally bug us all year long. I think everyone would say that if something comes up or you get stuck with something. So, but you'll also make it your own, and you'll want to do it your own way, which I think we've done from the past board too, which is appropriate and how it should go. So
I'm definitely going to be sending stuff to Maddie that I see pop up. So definitely keep in contact that way.
It doesn't really change anything. We're constantly right now sending stuff back and forth to each other anyway. So, but yeah, that goes for you guys too, though. If you ever see any job opportunities or anything interesting, send them to us and we'll post.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. If you have more questions and you want to stay on and ask one-on-one, that's totally fine. But if you need to go, you're free to go.